Hey, everybody. Welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George and Tulianos, brought to you by his books, Bodybuilding, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Gives you an excellent overview of all the PEDs used in our sport, cycles, doses, side effects. Then the sequel, because you need to know how to train and eat right and take your supplements, training, nutrition, and supplementation in bodybuilding. Pick those up at Amazon. And while you're at Amazon buying books, wow, look at this awesome book, Real Bodybuilding, 25 Years in the Trenches by Ron Harris. And also, Doctor will tell us about the sequel coming up to his book soon. But first, from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Tulianos. What's up, Doctor?
Good, Ron. Yes, I'm thinking about, I spoke with my editor, and it's going to be published by late fall, I guess before Christmas, will be on Amazon. I'm going to stick together these two books, perhaps some extra features with the quiz, nutritional quiz, PED quiz, and some Q&As. I'm going to put them both, so the total text will be 70,000 plus words, and the volume will be more than 400 pages.
Wow.
And the price will be $45. So It's not so expensive, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope to bring this book, some samples with me at the next Arnold 22 on March, you know?
Yeah, we're all
hoping we weren't gonna have masks until then, and Arnold will be not misunderstood by what he said.
Yeah, I mean,
it's for the best of all of us, you know. We need to end. We don't need more deaths.
Yeah, I mean,
and if I were non-vaccinated, I couldn't bear wearing a mask or taking a self-test or a molecular test every week. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that one quote out of everything he said in that CNN interview, screw your freedom. People took that and they made memes out of it, and they're boycotting, they're canceling Arnold. You know, it's sad.
In the land of freedom, you know, the USA.
I mean, I don't like to wear a mask, and you know, luckily we don't have to wear a mask here in Massachusetts anymore, unless you're on an airplane or in an airport. Certain setting, hospitals, places like that, obviously you need to wear a mask. But if I had to wear a mask again, it's the law. I don't like all the laws, but you got to follow them. Unfortunately, it's for the greater good.
I hope that next year the mask will be not mandatory. You know, when the pandemic will be controlled, because the herd immunity will reach the 80%.
Yeah. I mean, are you worried about all these variations, all these mutations on the virus?
No, because they're not lethal. They're more easily spread and contagious. It's a way of the virus to escape all these things. Okay. But I think if we won't worry if we reach the 80%, it's going to be a seasonal kind of flu, let's say.
Okay, because it's almost September, so we're going to be heading into flu season here in the US, probably in about a month or two at the most. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Well, masks help with flu, you know, with everything.
Yeah. And
also we have the vaccinations of the flu.
Right, that's true. I usually get the flu shot at Costco every year. It's free for me, so I get it.
Me too. Yes.
All right, we won't argue about the vaccine, because now all these comments are going to be about the vaccine and masks. They always are, anytime you mention it. So let's get into some bodybuilding and PEDs and nutrition and training stuff. Here we go. Doctor, this is, it's a training question. We don't get to do too many of these. Doctor, it's an age-old question, one that's still being asked. Back or biceps, or back and triceps? Also, do the whole leg in one day, or split the front and back of the leg up into 2 different days? What do you think?
So when you do back, you pull, okay? So pulling movements work synergistic with the biceps and the rear delts.
Yeah. And
also with the rear delts, the traps. But I would say when you do chest, you press with triceps, you press with front delts, and with your chest, of course. So I would say that when you do a major muscle group, you warm up the smaller muscle group that get involved also. So they are pre-exhausted, and it's a good warm up then to follow. Yeah. Okay, so chest and triceps, and then back and back. Of course, Lee Haney did the opposite.
Right.
But as a doctor and in matters of physiology, I want to send the blood to the same direction, okay?
Mm.
So yes, triceps and front delts are warm up during pressing movement. So why don't you move then next to the triceps have been pre-warmed up. Now about the legs, depends on your goals. When I used to compete, of course, if you do all this exhausting multi-joint free body weight exercises like squat, front squat, back squat, leg press, even wonky lunges, then you don't have the energy to go for the rears, the deadlifts, the kickbacks for the glutes, the hyperextensions, the calves, the hams. So definitely you need to split if you want to do some serious progress. Otherwise, you're gonna need 90 minutes to work the legs, and this is too much cortisol, too much time without food, and you're gonna catabolize.
I like the split that I've been doing for a little over 2 years. It's push, pull, legs. So I do chest, shoulders, triceps. The next day I do back, rear delts, biceps, and then legs I do all at once. But like you said, once you do back, I'm so warmed up after back. I only need about 6 or 7 sets for biceps, good sets, and they're done.
So when you're done back, try double biceps. You see how well your biceps are warmed up and fired, So it's more reasonable to go and work your biceps afterwards,
Right. And as for legs, what I found, like you said, if you do all your quad exercises first, you don't have much energy to do hamstrings. But if you do all your hamstring exercises first, it doesn't really take away your energy as much because you're not doing all those squats and leg presses and lunges. So I think for a lot of people, it makes sense to do hamstrings first, and it warms everything up. And then you get into your quad work. You should be able to do all that in an hour if you're moving, if you're not, wasting a lot of time. But yeah, you can split it up if you find.
Depends how many sets you're doing in the quads, because you have a wide variety of exercises.
Yeah, I don't do that much for quads, so maybe I'm a bad example. I used to do more.
You have good quads. Now also the calves are very stubborn, and some people want to hit them for many sets.
Yeah, I don't think calves we've talked about before, but I don't think training calves once a week is ever enough for anybody. It's that they recover fast because we walk on them all the time. They're used to work. So I think if your calves are really lagging, every other day even would probably be a good idea. Just a few good hard sets every other day.
Why don't you try this for your arms? That you say that you don't have good arms.
I don't. What, work them every other day? Yeah. Maybe stop
with the upper torso. I would say now train triceps with chest, biceps with back, and then another extra day for arms.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm probably going to start doing that because
do this. Yes,
that's the one thing. It's like the final piece of the puzzle. It's the one thing that's holding me back. I know it is.
But you look more round to me, and more lean and more developed. I mean, I see from here now the chest line here, the round delts and the traps, and you're in a good spot now.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna keep this body fat. I'm not gonna.
I look back in our first episode, you were puffy. Me too.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't you once you have your face leaner, you look back at those pictures and videos like, oh God, my face looks like a pumpkin. Boy, okay. Oh no, it's a vaccination question, doctor. Hey doc, if other people are vaxxed or want to use a mask, why do I have to give up my opinions and freedoms to appease them? Are we answering this one? No.
So why to get vaccinated if the others do it?
Well, if everyone else takes a vaccine and wears a mask, I guess this guy doesn't want to get vaccinated. He doesn't want to wear a mask.
Okay, listen, the answer is very simple now. The same we can apply to if I throw away the trash out of my window. If everybody does this, it's going to be garbage, the whole place. So number one is this, that this is not an exception because the same thought as you could be applied for everybody. And number two, in order to reach the herd immunity, we need 8%. You know how many people are this? Now, if you are so lucky enough to be the 20%, you have to worry because you don't have developed immunity, and perhaps you have for sure you have more chances in order to get sick. Okay.
Yeah.
And you avoid with vaccination the serious hospitalization in ICU.
Yeah. I mean,
All right. And it's an act of responsibility for your own and for the others also.
Yeah. I mean, this is a
Because
very,
we live
very,
in a society.
it's, we talk about this because this is dividing America. It's dividing the world. I mean, is it the same in Greece, or are there a lot of
I
people
don't
that
find a good reason why not to get vaccinated. For the side effects, there are no side effects. And this is proven from 2 billion people that have been vaccinated. Well, the side effects in 10 years, I might die of cancer because of the steroids. I don't know.
I mean, people
But
are
the
even,
vaccine will save you because you may die of COVID, because 4 million people didn't make it. And they're not only the elderly ones,
right. Yeah. I mean, you do hear about young, healthy people dying. It does happen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, there's no other measurement for prevention. Now, medications are a step further, okay? But I don't need to go to the ICU to get my medicine. So preventing is before.
Yeah. I mean, like
otherwise, live isolated in a glass bottle and wear your mask.
Go get a cabin in the mountains or something, right? Are you hearing this fan, doctor? Can you hear that?
Yes.
You can? Okay, I better turn it off. But sorry,
no
guys.
Problem with me. No problem with me.
No, I don't want people to hear it, but then I start sweating. It's hot. It's still
hot.
No,
put it
it's
on.
All right. I'll be okay. Hey, Ron and Doc T, I'd like to know what a true, I hope you know the answer to this one. They want to know a true open female bodybuilder's cycle. I've always been curious to the doses they take. I know it's not small amounts. What would you guess or truly believe it is? My girlfriend wants to start on anavar, 10 milligrams 3 times a week, and 50 milligrams of Deca twice a week. She's been lifting for 4 years and has truly stopped getting results. Any info to both questions would be appreciated. Thank you for this Q&A. Truly a kick-ass channel. Thank you. She is thin and lean, but not curvy enough in the quads, even though she trains. So you do know what female bodybuilders take. You've known a few of them, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I had a show with Bombshell. How you call it?
Oh, Buff Bombshells. Yeah.
So I said the classic safe cycle would be Deca and Primo for the off season, and Wishful anavar for the cutting phase.
That's safe, but what do you think? The top 5, top 6 women in the Ms. Olympia. What would somebody at that level? What do you think they would do?
A men's cycle.
A men's cycle.
Yeah, of course.
Like Trend, Masteron,
Hollow testing, testosterone propionate, anything.
Yeah, I mean,
as long as you don't care about the side effects, the hell with it.
Don't try this at home, folks. Don't try this at home. So his girlfriend wants to start on a cycle. Anavar, 10 milligrams, but only 3 times a week. We know that as an oral,
it doesn't work this way.
You have to take.
It has to be applied steady in the system.
Yeah.
And 10 milligrams won't give you any serious anabolic effects.
So for a woman, I think 10 milligrams, especially a first-time user, I bet she'd do pretty well.
Well, it has to be legitimate in the anavar because they're fake.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing is there's a lot of and there's an anavar shortage in the world. Did you know about this?
Yeah.
There's an anavar shortage right now. So there's a lot of fake anavar. There's people selling D-ball and methyl test and Anadrol because they can sell, I don't know, let's use a money example, 50 milligrams of Dianabol. Maybe that you could get that for like 50 cents, whereas 50 milligrams of Anavar, $3. So if you can sell D-ball as Anavar, you're making a huge profit margin.
2 pounds of Anavar costs $15K.
Yeah, it's very expensive. But yeah, you got to be, it's the black market. So who do you trust? Who do you trust? How do you know if it's real? I guess you do the William Llewellyn. Does the Roid test kit work for pills too?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I would recommend getting William Llewellyn's Roid test. I think that's it. Roidtest.com. Women test all your gear because Primo could be test. Any of these things could be a cheaper.
Primo usually master.
Yeah, and as a woman, they need to be very conscious of anything that's got a lot of androgenic activity.
And anavar usually with Winstrol state.
Right. So, you take the wrong drug as a woman, you think you're taking anavar, you're taking something else, and your hair starts falling out, you start growing stubble, and your voice is changing. It's a mess. Yeah, get the Roid test kit, guys. But yeah, as we said many times on the show, with an oral, it needs to stay steady in your system. So you can't take an oral 3 times a week. You don't even believe once a day is enough. You like to split the doses, AM and PM.
Same applies with Winstrol injectable. I mean, if you do it twice a week, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you would do okay. And I mean, how much Deca do women use safely a week?
50.
50 milligrams? Okay, that's
Not
very,
MPP, the slow Deca,
right.
the
Yeah.
undercount.
That's a very, very conservative dose. Okay. Okay, from Gus Poulos. Got a lot of Greek fans, doctor. I've used every steroid made except for one, methyltrianolone or oral tren. I've never seen that in my life. Please give me your thoughts on this steroid as far as how long to stay on it, dosage. I've also heard it's more toxic than Anadrol. Is this true? Have you or Ron ever used it? Me, no.
Actually, it's not oral tren, but it's derivative of trenbolone.
Huh.
Okay.
Methyltrianolone.
It's more anabolic than tren and more toxic than halotestin. It's more androgenic than tren also. All right.
Yep.
And it's more androgenic than halotestin as well.
Wow.
So it comes only in 1 milligram pills. And you shouldn't supposed to use more than one a day and more than 30 days. So 30 milligrams totally. Okay. And Bill Welling's book says that it may give you a jaundice cholestasis if you use it more than that. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah, it's very toxic, but it gives you lean gains and there's no aromatization at all. Very androgenic, so it can burn some fat, it can give you some strength. The Olympic weightlifters use this, the wrestlers, and it can replace halotestin sometimes, yes, because very androgenic and very anabolic as well, but it's super toxic, so sublingually. And in bodybuilding, it's applied only, of course, the last 2 weeks or perhaps the last week.
For a contest.
Okay, for the depletion, you know, can give you this hardness. Same with halo.
What's it called? I mean, that's the chemical name, methyltrianolone.
Methyltrianolone or M3, yes.
N3, okay, they don't call it, doesn't have a name like, you know.
Methyltrianolone, yes.
Okay, because I mean, you'd think they would come up with a cooler name, like methyldrastinolone is D-ball, right?
No, it's Diana. It's methyldrastinolone, yes, it's Dianabol, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to say D-ball or Dianabol than methyldrastinolone. Anyway, yes. Here's a good one. Doc, can I take Spironolactone tablet, 25 milligrams while on TRT for my hair loss? Can't find topical form. So Spironolactone, what is that?
Yeah, I think this is, aldactone.
So it's a diuretic?
It's a diuretic, but it can also disrupt the receptors of the androgenic receptors because actually it's anti-androgen from the adrenals. Okay.
Wow.
But it's very mild and it's the least choice for androgenic alopecia. So I would say to use 5-A reductase inhibitors like dutasteride or finasteride. And actually Duta blocks both receptors in the scalp and the prostate. So this is very effective, actually can grow hair. Wow. Unlike finasteride that it says it can stop the hair thinning effect.
Spironolactone, a diuretic, can help you regrow your hair?
No, this is about dutasteride, but aldactone, it has some anti-hirsutism effect in women. So in order to avoid the mustache in women that use steroids, you may use some aldactone. The problem with aldactone is that it raises potassium. If you abuse it, you're gonna have issues with your heart.
Yeah, because I'm struggling with his question because he wants to know, I'm assuming it's a he, can I take Spironolactone while I'm on TRT? Can I take Spironolactone for my hair loss?
No, you cannot take it for a prolonged period of time. It will mess up your potassium, and this is critical for your myocardium. So you can take it all the way, either finasteride, dutasteride, Propecia, or Avodart.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I thought that was a little confusing. Next one's about Clen. Everyone loves Clen. I'm planning on using Clen long-term, like a week on, and then 8 to 10 days off dose, 20 to 60 micrograms. What's the doc think health-wise? I have asthma, and we're using Clen. I don't need to use my inhaler treatment, which has a corticosteroid in it. I do believe they aren't good for health either.
Clenbuterol is not so effective for asthma because it goes through systemic circulation. Unlike the inhalers that are aerosol spray and they go direct to the receptors in the bronchi. Okay, they're way more effective against asthmatic crisis and coughing. But clenbuterol, on the other hand, is more effective in fat burning. This is what we found.
Right.
And I've done a short video with Kid about this.
So,
On the other hand, USADA and WADA does not ban the inhaler because it does not have some fat burning effects, but it bans the clenbuterol in every dose.
Interesting.
Anyway, so
I guess this guy wants to know if you wanted to do a year. I guess he says long term. Let's say it's a year. Could you do a week on and 8 to 10 days
I
off
say 2
clenbuterol?
days on, 2 days off, because the receptors that get easily saturated and customized. So 48 hours use it, and the other 2 days stop using it. And you can use ECA stack the other days. So I'm trying to change, you know. I've tried also all the way clenbuterol, but after a while, it doesn't work to me. And I need to increase the dose or take ketotifen or Zaditan, you know. So drug for a drug it's furious, you know.
I mean, how many weeks do you think the average person can take clenbuterol before it stops working for them?
I believe after the second week.
Second week. Oh, wow. Okay. So long-term clen use doesn't make any sense.
No. Also, it's risky because it increases your blood pressure and you may have some stroke, aneurysm, you know. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Heart palpitations.
Right.
That's the problem with stimulus, the cardiovascular. Yeah, trembling.
I always got like that on clen makes me do that.
I mean, I remember I was in a relationship and my girlfriend back then asked me, "Are you on narcotics?"
What you think you were on?
Huh?
What did she think you were using?
Narcotics.
Oh, narcotics.
Because I was eating my yogurt and it was going like Parkinson.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you're not a surgeon. You would have cut somebody the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Cut open the wrong blood vessel or something. Oh boy, an arm training question. This guy must be either he's having a joke on me or he actually is in a similar situation. Hey guys, I'm 51, just like me until next month, 200 pounds, 5'10" on TRT. Have done my share of cycles over the years, nothing crazy. I have bad genetics. I can't get my arms past 16.5 inches. I've tried everything possible weightlifting wise. Is it fair to say I've reached my potential at this age?
Well, you have to know that TRT doesn't make you big. And number two, at this age, we've said in the previous episode, the muscle joints, tendons, ligaments, they're not so supportive. And number three, how many years you're lifting. So it all comes together. So at least try to be a better version of yourself and improve gradually. But with 200 milligrams of testosterone, you just avoid sarcopenia, muscle wasting.
I mean, but then we had this discussion earlier on before we've started recording, because people give me a lot of shit because I use more than TRT dose. I blast a few times a year, and they say you're too old to do that. Is it a lot more dangerous for someone my age?
Listen, as long as you have good labs, don't worry, you're blessed.
I do.
But you never know. So you have to do regular checkouts if you want to take this risk, and don't take other risks like alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, junk food. All right.
Yeah.
Trash food. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yes. You also have good genes. Yeah. And
I mean,
you don't use those pills. Okay.
Yeah. When this guy says, has he reached his potential at this age? Like you said, have you been lifting for 5 years or for 40 years? That matters. That really matters. I'll be 30 next month will be 38 years of consistent lifting for me.
Makes a difference.
Long time, dude. Long time. Okay, the last question is so simple. I can answer it, but I'll let you answer it. This guy says, if my test enanthate vial is 250 milligrams per milliliter, that's the concentration of his test, and I have a 25 gauge syringe, 3 cc 1 inch, what ml do I stop at to get 250 milligrams?
Oh, it's 1 ml.
1 ml. There's your answer. All that other stuff, as far as the size of the gauge, that was extraneous. So, yeah, the concentration, every steroid you buy, whether it's pharmaceutical or from a black market, it will tell you the concentration. It'll either be like 50, 100, 200, 250, 300, or 400, T400. Oof, that stuff's rough. But that's 1 ml of oil. Whew. All right, Doc. Damn, it's hot out here. Whew. Did the weather cool down in Greece yet or no?
Yes,
Yeah, a little bit.
we're about 85 now.
So do you have the winter the same time we have winter in America?
Yes, of course.
Okay, because I'm like Australia.
Actually, the weather in Athens resembles of LA.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
But LA doesn't have the heats of
Well, they do now. They did this summer. This summer it was hot as hell. The whole Southwest US was like an oven. It was crazy hot. But
Nevada is horrible. It's like
ah,
Athens in summer.
yeah, but they have no rain. It hasn't rained they haven't had a substantial amount of rain in LA for over 10 years.
Oh, really?
It barely ever rains out there. They've had a drought. It's going on like 20 years where they haven't had enough water. I couldn't stand that. I'd be losing my mind. Anyway, that is it. Doctor, thank you so much for your time, guys. Please, if you have questions, comments, leave them under here. We'll get to them in the next show. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, give it the thumbs up, do all that stuff. Hit the notification bell so you know when we have new videos, because on this channel we have all kinds of stuff. Check out the doctor's website. You see it there behind him, gtoul.com. Tons of articles in Greek and in English, plenty of information. Of course, you get links to get his books there as well. And it's been another great episode. Thank you, doctor. Appreciate it. This is a national bodybuilding champion who is also a medical doctor. There's not many of them in this world. So we're very, very fortunate and privileged to have Dr. T with us every week. Thank you, doctor. All right, guys. Thank you for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Soulianos. We'll see you next time.